Talk about the media. The media has not done its job in protecting the rights of the people. They have constantly inflated tensions amongst the people. All you got to do is look what happened in Baltimore, look what happened in New York and Ferguson, look what happened all over the world. The media has not kept our politicians honest. The mainstream media like Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, and all the rest. Even the local media is becoming insane. You've got each side of the media, Democrat and Republican, Fox News Republican, CNN, MSNBC, Democrat, but none of them are making a difference. None of them are keeping our politicians and our elected representative, or should I say, selected representatives, accountable. They're not doing any of that. The media, when it came to Baltimore, created a firestorm over everything that was going on in Baltimore. They blamed the rioters, and then they lumped in peaceful protesters with the rioters. And what they're effectively doing is taking protesters who have a legitimate grievance regarding local government and federal government and lumping them in with rioters. Now, this is an old trick because what they want to do is make protesting now even more illegal. So, what they do is they use this caption: protesters or slash rioters disrupt city, burn city down. Well, the whole city wasn't burning down, just maybe a couple of blocks and a couple of buildings were burnt down. The rest of them were looted and robbed. And then the media took the word thug and decided to make it racial. Yes, the media, all the media, including Larry from Jon Stewart Show, where he has his own show now called The Nightly Show. He even brought out the word thug and gave the definition of what a word thug is. It means an assassin, a robber, and a couple people even said, hey, wait a minute. Thugs are thugs. Period. They even brought up Capone, who had his own thugs. Thugs is not a code word for the N-word, people. It describes exactly somebody who was a gangbanger or a gangster or whatever. And yes, these were thugs, and I'm going to say it, thugs, who were disrupting a peaceful protest. Now, the people who were peacefully protesting were being lumped in with the rioters. Then, I've been in the military. I know the code words. When you declare a state of emergency in a city or a town, and you put in a curfew, and you bring in the National Guard, that's called martial law, period. You can call it and you can color it any way you want, but that is the very definition. Now, the media on both sides, Republican and Democrat, were saying, well, this is not martial law. No, all of this has to do with a program called Jade Helm. Look it up. It is an incrementalization of militarizing more police officers. And that's what this is about. This is about fear mongering. Our media has not kept our politicians honest. They have not done their jobs. They have done nothing but incite more insanity within the citizenry. The media is supposed to be fair. They're supposed to be objective. Their own opinions during that newscast do not count. The only thing they're supposed to do is report the news as it comes in and look for the facts, not their opinion on that cast. Now, you have your right to your own opinion once you're off that show. But if you're trying to push an agenda, whether it's for the neocons or the liberal idiots in Washington, then our government is using the media for that. The Pentagon uses the media for that, to push an agenda. The mainstream media is not doing its job as it's supposed to do. It's supposed to keep our politicians honest. It's supposed to spread light on the politicians who are doing wrong. And there's not supposed to be an agenda of Republican or Democrat in the media. And I'm going to use Fox's term, there is supposed to be something fair and balanced here, and it's not. It's imbalanced. And it's done intentionally to keep people divided. This divide comes from way back when you go back into Washington, D.C. And they decided to have two parties called the Democrats and the Republicans. That's where it comes from. This is where this divide started. And divide and conquer is an old trick. It's been used for centuries, been used for years. So they effectively installed martial law as a test run. All of this was a test run to see how people were going to respond. Then you got poverty pimps like Al Sharpton. Where was Al Sharpton when this young officer, was shot in the face the other day? He was fighting for his life. Where was Al Sharpton then? Calming people down, saying, don't do this. This is wrong. Al Sharpton was nowhere near it. Al Sharpton is a lying, I want to say something else, but Al Sharpton is a con man. Here's a man who was busted on video trying to buy cocaine. And here he is working for MSNBC. Now, I'm not saying people can't change, because people can. But what's the real issue here? What's the agenda here? There's an agenda that's been at play for a long time. All you have to do is go to the Bilderberg Group, Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission. All these groups have their agenda. And their agenda is to destroy public confidence in their politicians, is to destroy the trust of the people, so they can bring in their global government. And there's a lot of things going on here that nobody is seeing. But you got to pay attention to what's really going on. You've got to be able to see this. It is a scam played right before our very eyes. And what better way to hide a secret than in plain sight? Where people see it, but they don't understand it. And our media, MSNBC, CNN, Fox, ABC, CBS, all of them are involved in this. Our media should be independent of any political affiliation. And they're supposed to keep those politicians honest. They are the watchdogs for the people. But let's just face it. Clinton, Bush, Cheney, Obama, all of them have violated their constitutional rule. All of them have violated the law. And yet people continue to vote the same characters into office. You got to ask yourself, who's responsible? The answer is we are. Because we keep electing the same people over and over and over again and putting them in office. And then when we get upset, we want to blame them. No, let us take responsibility for some of this. Because we let these people back into office. People like Harry Reid, Dianne Feinstein, Nancy Pelosi, and then all those guys like Christie and Romney and all these people. You got two teams, Democrats and Republicans, and they're playing for the same globalist agenda. And they use the poor whites, poor blacks, poor Latinos, poor Native Americans, everybody. We are the scapegoats for them. They use us for their agenda. It's time to stand up, people, and say no more. Let's vote differently this time. Let's get different people in. Let's move the old out. And let's go back to our constitutional values. I suggest stop watching mainstream media. That's right. I suggest stop watching the mainstream media and start holding them more accountable. Start making them do their jobs or just boycott them altogether. We've got fascist corporations running this country. Fascism and how can I put this? Corporations and politicians working as one in conjunction is considered fascism. All you got to do is read it, and figure it out for yourself. I was able to. You can too. All of us, all we need to do is pay more attention to what's really going on around us. They use the issue in Baltimore as a flashpoint for other things. They use the issue in Ferguson, New York, Staten Island. All this was being used as a flashpoint. And I wouldn't doubt if they set a lot of this up themselves just to create this agenda to go. But if people would stop dividing themselves black and white. I'm reminded of Roosevelt, who once said, a hyphenated America will not stand. In other words, hyphenated. You're Black American, you're Native American, you're Indian American, Chinese American, Hispanic American. No, if you are here in this country and you swore an oath, or if you were born here in this country, regardless of your skin color or race,